Hello, my name is Gary Kopp, and I'm your Washington Township 36th District Constituent Liaison. I'm here today with Pete Lucido, your Lansing House Legislator. Welcome, Pete, to WBRW.
Thank you, Gary.
Pete, we're going to do a video shoot here today. We're going to have a program. We're going to put it on WBRW. This was your idea, and I think it's a good one to get this out to the area, your 36th District. And we're going to be going back and forth asking questions. So let's get started. Pete, can you tell us what your vision is for this program?
The program should give the listeners in the 36th District an opportunity to know what's going on in Lansing, as well as their concerns that I can bring to Lansing. So it's a dialogue between Lansing and back home. The irony is that I will have an opportunity to hear the concerns within the district, bring it to Lansing, and then echo those same concerns that are in Lansing back to the viewers here in the 36th District.
Have you thought about doing an open mic where we actually would bring, somebody would want to call up and say, hey, I want to come into the show and actually stand in front of you and ask you questions? Are you open to that?
100%. I think that that's what government's all about, getting involved with people and people getting involved with their government so that they have a good representation, as myself as the state representative, and also that the people's voices are heard. I won't know what they have to say unless I'm listening to them.
This sounds like it's something kind of different. Has this ever been done before?
You know, I don't think so. And in fact, during the process of being in Lansing, I've asked some of the other 109 legislators that are up there with me throughout the state, have they had any type of direct dialogue and engaging in direct mic night, if you will, or mic day, where the constituents can call in and talk about the concerns that they feel and the pressures or the opportunities of what lies in Lansing.
Do you see any downside to this?
Not at all.
Okay.
Zero.
Good. Tell us a little bit about Pete.
Okay. Well, Pete's first of all a father. Pete's a husband. I have three wonderful children, Brianna, Nina, and Peter, and it's in that order. My wife Anne Marie and I have been together for just about 25 years now.
Wow, good.
We live in Shelby Township, and I'm happy to report that our little dog Mia is doing just fine too. I'm a businessman. I've never been in politics before, so this is all new to me. And on top of that, I've practiced law for over 25 years, started a magazine called Macomb Now, which is still growing and talking about all the good things here in Macomb. And I just love family because I come from a big family.
Great.
So here I am.
There you are. You've been in Lansing now for about a month. Do you want to go back to practicing law?
You know, I loved practicing law. I still love the engagement that I had with my clients, both the family, the individuals, and the businesses. But I want to take it to the next level, and that level is to create laws that actually do help people. I've been in a courtroom, I've been before the judges, and I know what really is resonating and works. And sometimes the law as it's written doesn't always bring the result that we want. I'm happy to report to you, though, I've stepped away from my practice. I've stepped away from the people that I do enjoy and the camaraderie in the practice, but I'm going to go give this a try, and I think I'm going to be as in tune as I possibly can if I get the viewers to call me, to email me, to go to the website and engage in the process.
Somewhere along the line you had to make a decision where you had a successful law practice and some little bird sat on your shoulder one day and says, hey Pete, you need to get into politics. How did you come to that decision?
That's a tough call, but here's what happened. When I saw my daughter move out of state, and I noticed that other loved ones in families, grandchildren, children, nieces and nephews left the state to go find job opportunities, I knew it was my turn to say, I need to help, and I need to go ahead and support these individuals. I believe Michigan has a lot to offer. It's one of the greatest states here in our United States. And I really do believe that these opportunities still exist. We just have to reinvent ourselves. We have to find those opportunities. We don't want to educate everybody and have them leave the state. We want to keep them here because we're a family. And that's who we're going to make sure we serve first is the families of the 36th District.
So you've got a daughter that has left Michigan.
Yes.
Did she leave because she couldn't find a job?
Well, twofold. Number one, the opportunity for where she worked, which was the Michigan Transplant Center in Ann Arbor, they didn't have the funding to keep her on. And two is to advance her education and go on and get a master's in public health. And of course, she's working up in Lansing, or up in Georgia right now, out of state. They want to keep her there, and
Yeah.
I really like to get her home. And
Yeah,
I know that everyone else would like to get their kids home.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So that had something to do with why you eventually wanted to move into politics and
Quite a
try to help
bit,
move that
Gary.
forward?
Quite a bit, Gary. And you know what? It's just not that. It's also the laws. I've watched how the laws interplay with people, their lives, their businesses. I believe that I had a good understanding, no, a better than good understanding, a great understanding of what could possibly work better. I want to now crown my career with saying that I've had a chance to take part in making a difference here in Michigan. Take part in giving back to my community that I love and I cherish and I endure. And I would love that opportunity to create laws that are going to help not just here in the 36th district, not just the county, but the entire state.
Good. Okay. We're going to take a break now, and we'll be right back.
Early in the morning, a seed is sown, planted into the rich soil that covers nearly 62,000 acres of Macomb County farmland. It is one of millions that are planted in our county each year. As they grow, so does Macomb County's reputation as one of the top producing agricultures not only in Michigan, but in the United States. A reputation that has not been given, but one that has been earned through generations of hard work and resilience, perseverance and know-how. Macomb County's farms, orchards, and dairies have endured and thrived, sustaining us with top-grade produce, grains, and livestock, season after season, harvest after harvest. It hasn't always been easy. The life of a farmer never is. So every morning, much like that seed, their very nature compels them to push through. They get up, they plow ahead, they continue to grow. Tend to your future.
Welcome back. We're here with Pete Lucido, your state legislator. Pete, tell us what you learned, good, bad, or the ugly, while you were campaigning, all your experiences that you had. I'm sure there must have been some stories here somewhere.
The first week in Lansing, that's the it's like the freshman retreat. Everybody gets together and they talk about their experiences, what they found was helpful, what they found was hurtful. I found that the campaigning process is a necessary process. First of all, you have to get your message out to the voters, but more importantly, I want to make sure that in the future that we engage the voters to have an open mic night like we talked about earlier in this show, but also that they can come and ask questions, live, direct, unrehearsed. These are the individuals as if I'm being interviewed for a job, and I wanted that opportunity through a debate or some kind of forum that they have the right to ask me questions and I can give them responses. In addition, they might find that what they perceived in the messaging may have been different than what they expected. So I want to give everybody that full opportunity. That's why I went into the community during my campaigning process as hard and as fierce as I possibly could have, had coffees and pastas and everything else so I could talk to people. I think it's very helpful for somebody to know the needs, the wants of the individuals before they get to Lansing. What did I learn in Lansing? I learned that there's 109 other legislators that are from all walks of life, all parts of the state, that generally have a concern for their district as it relates to, it could be the cow farmers up in, the Mackinac area, it could be the crop growers from Traverse City area, or it could be over here where we have, oil going on and drilling going on in our backyard. So there's a diversity of people and interest as it relates throughout the state.
Okay, that sounds like that's all the good stuff, but what about the bad stuff?
What about it? I think what you're going to find is they have hidden agendas. Some things are inevitable, and you can sense it, you can smell it, you can see it. You got another tier of people moving up the political ladder, if they say, coming from local politics now to state politics. You don't really get a good mix of business people because it's hard to leave your career like myself and go there to serve the people. But they are good people. They have great intentions, and I just hope that they're working always for the benefit of the people. That's what I want to see, more of that.
It sounds like when you put it into perspective, when you start thinking about the state of Michigan with, like you said, up north they have a different agenda than what we have down here in the Tri-County area. So it's got to be really difficult to try to get 110 minds all thinking the same way.
Well, not everyone is going to think the way I think down here in the 36th district.
Right.
You know, Washington Township, Shelby Township, Bruce Township, and the village of Romeo isn't quite as the same as somewhere up in Traverse City.
Right,
So we
right.
do have a diversity of thought process, but we have to come to one concession to pass a bill. And you know, I'd like to tell the viewers out there how a bill is done.
Yeah. Yeah.
You first start off with writing the legislation, which is the bill, and then you give it to the Legislative Bureau Service, who fine-tunes it, researches it, brings it back to the legislator like myself, and then it has to be put into a blueback, it's called, signed off by your other peers in the State House, and then gone into committees. And there's a diversity of committees. There's Energy Committee, there's Finance Committee, there's Criminal Justice, there's all these different committees that look at the bill, have hearings on the bill, and eventually if the bill is good enough, it gets out of committee to the floor for a vote, and eventually if the majority vote on it, it gets to the governor's desk for signature to make law. That's how simple it is.
Wow. Well, it sounds simple when you're saying that, but when you think about the federal government, you were talking about it goes into committee. We've heard things like Harry Reid, when he was the head of the Senate, bills were coming in, but nothing is coming out. Is it the same way with the state?
You know what it is? Priorities take precedence, and that's what's going to happen. Or there's trading going on of, well, we want to, you may go in with looking like a television, it may come out looking like a bicycle because everybody wants to change it.
Yeah.
And everybody has their own input and their own experiences that they want to bring to the bill. Or they may want to add things. So yes, you're going in one way, and it could come out totally different than as you prepared the bill.
Wow. So you can walk a bill into the committee, and by the time you walk it, but by the time it comes out, it could be something totally different. It came in like a dog and comes out like a cat.
Exactly.
Holy cow.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, if the head of the committee, what do they call it, the committee chairman or something?
Committee chairman.
If he doesn't like it, it doesn't go anywhere?
Yes, that's pretty much it. The committee
Wow.
chairman is very influential and very in charge of what is coming in and going out of the committees.
Does the committee itself, do they have any leverage over him and saying, we want this bill to go out just the way it came in, and if he says no, it's no?
Usually the loudest voices will eventually get heard, but sometimes they may go hoarse between then and the time it actually comes out.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, that's an interesting experience. Okay, we're going to take another break. Stand by. We'll be right back with Pete Lucido.
I'm Mark Zupan, part of the U.S. Paralympic rugby team. In my game, movement is everything. I get frustrated when my move is blocked, especially when that guy has no right to be there, even just for a minute. I love a challenge, but I don't like to play this game every day.
A message from the United Spinal Association.
Welcome back. We're here with your state legislator, Pete Lucido, and we're continuing on with some questions about the committees you were talking about. What committees were you assigned to, Pete?
I was pretty happy about what they put me on. They first put me on criminal justice, which is dealing with the Department of Corrections, it's dealing with parolees, it's dealing with the individuals that make our society look dark. They also put me on judiciary, which is all of the judges in the state, as well as the litigants, and the families and the businesses that go before the court, how to make that run smoother and more efficient and more effective at a cheaper cost. In addition, they put me on financial, which is dealing with the banks and the credit unions. And I served on a bank board, so I can lend some extra expertise and experience. The most fascinating one they put me on is the energy, and that's dealing with oil, gas, and electric. And it's things that, and coal, and it's things that are actually happening in our neighborhood about, as we know, about the drilling that are going on in Shelby Township. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about these committees.
Wow. You said you were put on as vice chair for?
Vice chair of judiciary, yeah.
Isn't that kind of unusual for a rookie rep to get that assignment?
Well, one may say that I'm a freshman representative, but I'm a seasoned, over 25-year veteran in the law business. So I feel pretty good about it because I looked at the history and the background of other legislators, and they weren't complaining. In fact, it probably lends some good experience and expertise
Good.
to what it is that I'm going to do.
Good. You've been on the radio and TV talking about this, and we're going to go into this high school civics testing question that you've got. You put a bill in front of the House. You're the new kid on the block. You walk in and you say, wait a minute, I want to have all the high school kids tested for civics. What's up with this?
Okay, I don't want to make no mistake about it. First of all, I love teachers, and I'll say love because they are the ones that energize me. They are the ones that gave me all the thought and processing of who I am today. So I'm very, very much thankful for what education, you know, between my high school, my undergraduate degrees, my master's degree, and my law degree. I'm a pretty educated person, I think. And on top of it, it was the teachers that gave me the opportunity to think in and outside the box. I look at it this way. I found a lot of discord with the students that are here today as I went through my campaigning process and ultimately with my own children. I found that with my nieces and nephews, and we have almost 100 of them in my family, big family, that they weren't appreciative of government. You know, moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, uncles and aunts sit around the table and what do? They bash government.
Complain about government.
Oh my God. They talk about all the evils and the discord of the people that, you know, for 30, 40 years, things have been more of the same, and people weren't really serving the people. They go to government for other reasons than to serve. And I wanted to make that difference, and I think it starts with the basic understanding and knowledge of government. You have to start somewhere. I mean, a plant doesn't grow unless there's a seed, and a seed not nurtured and watered doesn't have and doesn't produce the plant that you want. So in this case here, I know that immigrants come from abroad. And when they come from abroad, they really do appreciate this country and all the freedoms and all of the greatness that this country offers. They take a civics exam or a government exam and an English exam. Those are the two requirements to become an American citizen. And I noticed that when I was working with people in my practice with immigration, the appreciation, and they really truly understood the benefits. They really understood what America is about. When you're born here, you don't have any skin in the game to become a citizen. You already are.
It's an entitlement. You're an American citizen, I get it anyway.
You know what? And my bill was real simple. I want them to pass the same exam that somebody from a foreign country has to pass just to get those principles of appreciation. I want them to appreciate what America is, what the flag's about, and why it is that we are free.
Well, isn't it true that there's a state bill already from, I forget, 1970 something? It says it's a requirement that they have to take the class, but you don't necessarily have to pass the test?
My first bill that went off like a sonic boom because it caused a lot of controversy as it relates to what teachers wanted, which is stay out of my classroom. Don't legislate in my classroom. I won't. And I tell you, that's your domain. That's your bailiwick. But I will tell you that this, in 1976, our state legislator passed a bill that said a student in high school is required to take a government and or a civics exam, but it doesn't say you have to pass. It doesn't say what grade you have to get. It doesn't even say you have to appreciate government. It just says you have to take it. And I'll tell you what, I told all the taxpayers there is no cost and expense. There is no requirement that has to have additional teaching. The test is already prepared by the INS, the Naturalization Immigration Department, as well as it can be done online. So there's no extra of anything. The bottom line is they can take it over and over and over until they pass. And I'm only asking for a 60%. Now, if other schools in their district want to set a 70%, 80%, so be it. But at least give them the building blocks of understanding what the Pledge of Allegiance is about.
Okay, we're going to take a short break. We're here with Pete Lucido, your state legislator. I want to go into this some more because I think there's still some more meat on the bone here.
I'm working in a job that I love.
Because I was given a chance.
To show that my disability
is only one part of who I am.
Who I am.
Who I am.
At work, it's what people can do that matters.
For more information, visit whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Welcome back. Again, I'm Gary Kopp, and I'm here with Pete Lucido, your state legislator. Pete, in the last break, we were talking about this civics testing thing, the bill that you've got proposed. Give us some data. Give us some facts that would tend to justify why you think this is important.
Okay. I believe that if students get a good, firm, solid foundation and they understand government, they'll engage more in government. There was a study done out of Ohio at the Xavier University. That study was in 2012. It's posted that you can look at that said we had, I think, 1,250 immigrants take an examination of what I'm proposing, and out of the 1,250, 98% passed the exam. They did the same thing with 1,250 high school seniors. 2/3 passed, 1/3 failed.
Wow, so about 30-some percent.
That's about right.
Wow.
Did not make it, did not even understand those questions to pull a 60%.
Wow, 60%.
Yeah,
most of us would consider 60% a failure, wouldn't
well,
we?
I don't want to rate the students now, but I'll tell you, back when I went to school, it was below it was a D.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know I took the test myself, and we're going to talk a little bit about this at the end of the show. But you're going to post a test on your website, and we'll go into the website details. I took the test, and I just got out of high school probably, about 8 or 10 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Oh, sorry. And there was 50 questions on the test, and I scored a 44. So, and like I said, it's been a few days since I've been out of high school, but so I'm having a little bit of a problem trying to think that these kids, it's fresh in their minds, they have to take the class, and they can't pass the test. So I'm a little bit frustrated by that.
Well, you'd think that a government civics class that's just being given to them, and if the essentials are already there, which I know they are. The
Should
teachers
be.
have already told me
yeah.
that I spoke to, Pete, we already teach this. Well, if you already teach this, this is online, no additional cost, nothing to the taxpayers.
Yeah.
Let's just see how those assessments come back. I'm not asking for anything different.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that there's a dialogue that's going to start real young so that we have good government. And more importantly, that good government is going to take care of me later on when I'm older. And same with you, Gary.
Absolutely.
And same with the viewers out there.
Yep. No, I get it. I understand where you're going with it, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, let's shift gears a little bit.
Sure.
Everybody wants to know what's going on with the sales tax increase. How is all this going to affect our roads? What's up with that?
First of all, I have to make a disclaimer. I was not in the State House. I was not a representative back when the 2014 legislators were up there. And what ended up happening was this. They couldn't come to a compromise, or they couldn't come to a consensus to get a vote through to make it final. And it's unfortunate that a referendum had to come back to the people because now there's cost, expense, time, and more importantly, do the people really understand what this bill is about? I suggest that you break it apart because there's moving parts within the bill. They're talking about a road that needs to get fixed. They're talking about a tax that needs to be increased, and then Michigan, if it passes, will be the second highest tax as far as sales go in the country.
Really?
This is a little disingenuous.
Wow.
But more importantly, they also have in the bill, when I read it, things giving money to, as it relates to money that's going to be given to education, money that's going to be given to indigent. Well, really, if we're out to fix the roads, shouldn't we stick to the roads first?
No, it's not just a road repair bill.
No.
It's got other things that are attached to it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cake. There's eggs, and there's flour, and there's sugar, and there's salt. And you know, when you start to pick apart everything, we want to be as transparent. And we always use that word, but do we really mean it? And I want to say, here it is. This is what it's about. Be an informed voter. Always get all the facts. Get as much as you can. I'm hoping that they do a publication saying this is what it is. We're going to spend millions of dollars on this special election is what it is in May.
Yeah.
And we're going to also go ahead and ask the voters to go do something, that which the legislature probably should have gotten done.
Couldn't get done on their own, could they?
You know what? Lame duck is a funny way of saying things are just meandering around, whether they go through or not. Who knows?
Holy cow. And is there any guarantee that after all this money is spent that the roads are actually going to be improved?
Well, I hope so. And I'll tell you right now, we need to get warranties, and we need to get bonded. We need to get bonded contractors out there doing these roads. And we may want to look at what it is that MDOT's doing, because they're giving the specs to everybody on how to build these roads. And I got to tell you something. I get warranties with TVs, cars.
Yeah.
I get a bond when I have a special project, when I practice law. Why don't we do the same here in the state and just make it simple, stupid for everybody?
But the reality of it is if I understand it correctly, the state really tells the contractor how to build the roads.
100%. There's a booklet. It looks about this thick I looked at, and it shows this is the specifications. You need spec engineered soil. You need so much 21 AA, which is crushed stone, and it has to be so pure. This is the base that they want. This is how much concrete that they have to put. We should have the testing of the concrete. So if everything is per their specification, why do we have failure? One must ask themselves this. I'd like to see the contractors build it the way they see it and the way our Michigan weather is and the weight of trucks. It just makes sense.
Yeah. Well, you can't really fault the contractors that are putting the concrete in if they're building it according to the state specifications, can you?
I would like to say no comment, but you can't.
You can't. All right, we're going to take another break now, and we'll be back in a second with Pete Lucido, your state legislator. I think we just...
Are you looking for a future career in television broadcasting, or do you want to become more involved in the community? Volunteering at WBRW is the right place for you. Not only will you become involved with the community, but you can gain experience in working behind the camera, in front of the camera, and editing footage. For more information on becoming a volunteer, call us at 586-697-5344 or visit our website at WBRWTV.com and click the volunteer link. Don't miss out on this great opportunity.
Welcome back. Again, we're still here with Pete Lucido, your state legislator. We're just going to follow up a little bit on the question about the road tax increase. I'm concerned, Pete, what's going to wind up happening? The rumors that I'm hearing out there, most people are against this. What's going to happen if this thing gets shot down?
It's unfortunate, but it's coming right back to the State House.
Yeah.
The representatives of the State House, including myself, are going to have to deal with the issue all over again. There has been a change of legislators that were in the last legislator section in 2014. They're about 40-something are gone, and there's a whole new freshman class in there. Irony is, we're going to have to take it up. We're going to have to deal with it. What I'd like to hear is from the voters, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Do you want me to increase the tax? Do you not want me to increase the tax? I need your help. I need you to tell me what works for you.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't work for you, it's not going to work for the people here in the district and in the county. It's not.
Well, at the end of this, we're going to put up a graphic that's going to show the best way to get a hold of you with your state address and phone numbers and all that kind of stuff.
Wonderful.
And my contact information also, so we'll take care of that. Lastly, it looks like we're running out of time, but I guess one of the last things that I want to talk about, I know you've been involved in the local area, the charities and things like that. Why don't you tell everybody some of the kind of things that you've done to help out around here?
Number one, I want to tell everybody out there that giving is part of my nature as far as who I am and what I'm all about, and I'll tell you why. I've been very blessed. I've had great health. I've had a great run with my family. My practice has been outstanding, and those are the people in the community that gave that to me. So I give back by doing this. There's the local Boys Club and Girls Club. Right over here in Washington Township, we get involved with the Humane Society for the animals. My wife and I, both of us, and my children too. We give time to the Crohn's. My wife has Crohn's disease, so we give to the Crohn's disease for irritable bowel. We're also involved heavily with local church organizations that are around in my community. I like to spearhead as much as I can. The magazine always talked about charities during the holidays because that's when they need the extra shot in the arm, the Macomb Now magazine. But more importantly, I'm a member of the Knights of Columbus, and I'm a member of other charities and organizations out there. So if there's a need out there, we feel blessed enough, the Lucidos, that we want to give back, and we've always tried to help.
As a member of the Knights, kind of puts you in a pro-life situation, so I know you also support things like Compassion Pregnancy Center.
I do.
Okay. Is there, we've got maybe 1 minute left here. Is there anything else that we missed that you want to talk about? Here's your big chance.
Is this it, huh?
This is it. You got 1 minute. Let's go.
I'd like to tell the audience out there that, look, I'm very privileged and I'm very proud to be your state representative. I also want you to help me, and here's how. You can give me by going to the website, looking at all the committees and what I'm doing up in Lansing, you can go ahead and email my office up in Lansing questions, concerns, comments, or queries that you have. You can pick the phone up and call me and say, Pete, I need to talk to you about something. I'll be there for you. I want to take care of the families and the people that put me in office. And with your help, I can make it a brighter tomorrow for all the families, businesses here in the 36th district.
Okay, we got to wrap this up. Thanks, Pete.
Thank you, Gary.
Talk to you soon.
All right.